Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of Sip and Smoke. Episode 1, Never Seen Before, brand new series. In this series, I sip, I smoke, and I talk. I'm hoping to talk about just story times, this and that, just sort of what's on my mind, right? Um, and in today's video, I'm gonna be telling the story of how I first started smoking weed, how that first happened, how I got into the community, all that stuff. All that stuff will be covered. But before we get to that, I need to show y'all the bevy and the smokes. So for the bevy, we got some mint flavored mate tea. I swear to God, mate tea just in general, especially this brand, Eltoni, heavenly, heavenly. One of my favorite drinks ever. I swear to God, Dr. Pepper doesn't have jack shit on Eltoni. I mean, this shit is heaven in a can. I swear to God. I've gone days where I've had like four or five of those like in a day. It's so good. I love that drink. And then for our smokes, we got a pack of Marlboro Greens. Um, yeah. I've never had menthol cigarettes before. I mean, the only experience I have with menthol is the first time I ever rolled a joint. It was with a Camel Crush menthol filter. But yeah, that was years and years ago. So, I mean, years and years, like a while ago. But anyways, on to the story. Actually, first off, I need to light my smoke. God damn, I almost forgot. First off, this packaging is beautiful. I mean, like, I love Marlboro's packaging. I know it's simplistic and stuff, but it's beautiful. It's like the perfect amount of simplicity and like complexity to where it's chef's kiss. And the cigarettes themselves are also pretty nice. Yeah, they're not a crush cigarette or anything, but they're really, really nice. I had one before. It's good. Like, I had one before, just right before recording this. But yeah. Um. Anyways, without further ado, let's light this bitch up. Oopala! I just spilled my mate. That ghost failed horribly. But anyways, on to the story. So, this story starts back in like end of March, beginning of April 2023, I think. Yeah. Um so like I said, years and years ago with the joint, not even that long ago, but whatever, moving on. So first off, growing up, my parents were never opposed to weed and stuff. I grew up in northern Colorado, which means weed was like not an uncommon smell. I mean, I didn't smell it every single day because my parents didn't smoke or anything, but I did know what it was, and I did smoke. I did like smell it regular and stuff. And my parents were. I don't want to say they were like weed positive, but they weren't weed negative. They used to smoke every now and then. But once they had kids, they just kind of stopped. Yeah. But anyways, um. So growing up, I always knew from like young kid, like not super duper young, but like as long as I can remember, I've been like, oh yeah, weed. I know what that is. I want to try it when I'm older. I want to try it when I'm an adult, right? Um, so yeah, that was kind of my mindset. Growing up, I didn't have anything against it. I was just like, yeah, try it when I'm older. Just see if I like it. Nothing like that. Like, and yeah. So um sophomore second semester of sophomore year rolls around, and I'm back in my public school because before this I went to a charter school for a semester. um but there were a bunch of problems with that school, so I just switched back to a public school for the second semester of my sophomore year. And at the beginning of the semester I met this girl. Should I give her a name? Yeah, why not? Abigail. Fuck it, Abigail. I'm never gonna remember that, but for now it's Abigail. Um, One day during class, Abigail walks in. Like one of her friends was out going to the bathroom, and she just kind of dragged her into class, dragged Abigail back to class. We said hi quickly, this and that. She was like, oh yeah, that's George, blah blah blah, whatever, right? And then later that day, I get a Instagram like follow notification from Abigail. I'm like, huh, interesting. Also, this girl was beautiful. I mean, this girl was really beautiful. Still to this day, when I look back, I'm like, damn, I fumbled. But anyways, um, I accept and follow back and this and that, and we start talking, and one thing leads to another, and we start dating. Um, and I'm over the moon. I'm like head over heels for this girl. Um, yeah. And unfortunately, the relationship didn't last that long. It only lasted like I think 2 months or something. Like yeah, really short. Again, like we met at the beginning of the semester and then broke up around March, right? But anyways, I met this girl and this and that, and we when we broke up, I was heartbroken. Like looking back, I don't blame her at all or anything, but like in the moment, I was so heartbroken. I swear to God, I was head over heels for this girl, and I was just distraught afterwards. And like I did a lot at that time. I texted my best friend. I was like, yo, do you mind if we go on a walk and this that? I'm kind of bored. I'm kind of feeling down. I'm feeling depressed. Like, can we go on a walk? Like, come on, bro. Like, I just got broken up with. Help her brother out. Help her brother out. And my best friend April, she was like, yeah, of course. Like, blah blah blah. And she was like, also like, oh, by the way, do you want me to bring weed? Cause like my friend April was still at that alternative school that I went to for a semester, and she had started to hang out with the stoner crowd, this and that. I'm right. At this point, I had never smoked a cigarette. I had never done anything. Like, yeah. I think I might have drinking once or twice at that point, but like nothing serious. The most it was like maybe a beer or two. But yeah. So we meet up. She has this weed, and she's like, dude, my dealer grew this, and she wants to see how people like it and this and that. She wants to see if it's good. She wants to like get opinions on it. So do you mind if we smoke it? I'm like, oh yeah, of course. Like, why not? Like, fuck it, I don't care. Weed's weed. Like, at this point, I do nothing. So I was just like, yeah, why not? Weed's weed. So we go, and we go to this little like swamp area near our middle school, because we like lived right next to the middle school we both went to. And keep in mind, it's still like March, maybe April. I think it was more March. So it's still cold out. It's still snowy out and this and that. And we kick it there in this sort of marshy area, and she pulls out the joint and she tries to light it, but it's too damn cold. It's too damn wet. It's too damn snowy for this joint to light. So we're just there, desperately trying to get this thing to light, and we just don't get it to light. And we're talking, like, we get maybe a couple puffs in, but then it just goes out again. We light it again, it goes out again. And right at some point we're just like, fuck it, whatever, like, let's just go back to April's house. Like, April was like, dude, fuck this, let's just go back to my house and just eat and just take some edibles. I'm like, okay, I didn't realize this was like us trying to sesh. Like, I did realize that at this point, but like that wasn't my original intention. I wasn't opposed to it, but that wasn't my original intention. You know what I mean? So we go back to April's house, and we go down, and we go down to her room. She pulls out the edibles. She like cuts one off and gives me like a really small dose. You know, I take it, and we're just in her room, kicking it, not doing much, just kind of waiting for the edibles to kick in, and then they kick in, and I'm just flabbergasted. I remember looking at her mirror. She had like this mirror with like lights around it, and I was just like memorized by that. That mirror was the most beautiful thing ever. It was the most interesting, exquisite, most like abstract thing ever. Like, I'm not saying it was like a psychedelic thing ever, but I was just like, whoa, that's a mirror with lights. Like, oh my god. And I was just like mesmerized by this goddamn mirror. And then right, April's like, dude, check this shit out. And she pulls out this gigantic, like, you know those gigantic cans, not cans, but those gigantic tubs of just cheese balls. She pulls this out and goes like, go at it, homie, go at it, homie. And I eat like a solid chunk off, like a solid fourth of this thing. It was a lot of cheese balls. But yeah, I realize the story isn't quite as interesting. Like, it doesn't have any interesting plot points or anything, but I was just, but I remember, as we're, as I'm here sitting, being fucking stoned out of my mind, admiring this mirror, eating my cheese balls, at some point the thought of Abigail comes back. I'm like, oh my god. And I mean, it didn't ruin the high at all. It did not ruin the high at all. But it did give it a bit of a different mood. Not a bad mood, just a different one. And then after that, I just remember, like, once I got sober and stuff, I was like, I really, really enjoyed that. Like, I enjoyed being stoned. I enjoyed that experience. I enjoyed the feeling. Yeah. And, you know, before this experience, I had, like, visited the Trees subreddit and stuff, and, like, I had definitely had an interest in weed before this. Like I said, I grew up wanting to smoke it at some point when I was older. I didn't expect it to be quite with 17. I expected it to be more like 21-ish. But hey, that's just how the world works, right? But anyways, from then on, I just was really interested in weed, like all the different strains, all the different like smoking methods, all the like the different highs. And I just remember doing so much research on this, and gradually over time just learning more and more and more. And it just, every single time I learned, I saw something new. Like, say I saw what a gravity bong was. I was like, oh, what is that? How do I make that? Like, I need to know every single detail about this. And then once I learned about like growing your own shit, I was like, okay, how do I grow my own shit? Like, not even because I wanted to. I wanted to grow my own shit. I just was interested in like how that worked. And yeah, and then from then on, I just got more and more into it and started like smoking weed more and more, and just every single new like stoner thing that I was confronted with, whether it be strains, whether it be growing, whether it be taste profiles of different weeds, whether it be like trichomes, whether it be hash, whether it be dabs, whether it be really anything THC related, I was just interested in it. I was like, this is the most interesting shit ever. Yeah, so from then on, that's kind of how I became a stoner. I just thought it was some of the most interesting shit ever, and just did a bunch of research and stuff. And at some point, a couple months later and stuff, a couple of months later and stuff, like, April and I are kicking it, and at some point, April goes like, just says something stoner related. I don't even remember what it was. It was maybe like something about how the weed looked or something. I was like, oh, I know that. That's like blah 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 blah. That's because of the trichomes. That's because of this, because of that. And then she like looks at me and gives me this look, and I like look back. I'm like, oh my god, I just had that experience where you become more of a stoner than the person who introduced you to weed, and that was such a surreal experience. I mean, I swear to God, that was crazy shit. That was crazy shit. Yeah. yet again, I don't really have an ending to this. Like I said, I'm not on my meds. I don't have a script or anything. But I hope it was interesting. I hope it was interesting. Um, yeah. If you enjoyed just me rambling, feel free to like, feel free to subscribe, and see you in the next episode. Toodles!